Hey guys, what's cooking? Today we are not cooking, we are baking. And on June 11th was my birthday, and I had wanted to make an ice cream cake for myself, but at that particular time, I was unable to do that. And with today being Canada Day, I thought today would be a great time to do that, and we'll just decorate it as a Canada Day cake. So that's what we're doing today. We are making an ice cream cake. I've never homemade an ice cream cake before. I always just buy it from Dairy Queen. It is one of my favorites. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is everything you're gonna need to make an ice cream cake. I've been wanting to make an ice cream cake for a video for, I don't know, probably a year now. And it's just, one, pricey. You know, you're almost better off just buying an ice cream cake. But the, unless you have most of the ingredients. But then the other thing is that it's just very time consuming. So I'm just going to be straight with you. This is an entire day process. So yeah, that's the other reason that it's taken me this long to do it. Yeah, but we're motivated today and we're going to do it. You know, normally I don't like to scare the viewers away right at the beginning of the video, but I feel like I'm not doing my job properly if I don't tell you exactly how long this is going to take you. I don't want you to, say, be getting started right now and following along with the video, thinking it's only going to take like a couple of hours. This sucker... The whole process, granted a lot of it is waiting because you're going to be like putting it in the freezer, taking it out, put it in the freezer, taking it out. But overall, you're looking at like 6 hours. Yeah, so this is something you want to start in the morning if you're, or do the day before if you need it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. This is going to be a Canada Day cake, and I wanted time to be able to edit this video. So I'm actually doing it on Thursday. Canada Day is on Saturday, so, we make it Thursday, we edit the video Friday, and then Saturday we good to go. So yeah, this is an 8x3 pan. It's all shiny because I just bought it. Look, you can see me in here. Now you know I do my cooking videos with a phone. But that's how clean it is. Yeah. Okay, so 8x3 is the best one to use. But, you can use a regular cake pan if need be. It's going to go right where that meat is. I'm bagging all this food up. We're going to put it down there. And then it's going to fit into that container here. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. No, we're not cooking an ice cream cake in an oven. This is just for your crumbles. So the first thing we're doing is the Oreo crumbs and all that. Go grab your Oreos and your butter or margarine, whichever you prefer. You will need 9 Oreos. And you're just going to crush them up. I used a rolling pin and just crushed them up like that. As you can see, I didn't take them apart, so you can keep the cream in there. That's fine. So then you'll just combine the Oreos with your butter or margarine, which will be 1.5 tablespoons. Okay, so the recipe I'm going off of didn't say anything about melting the butter, and I felt like it would be easier to kind of mix it all together, so I just nuked the butter. Yeah, so feel free to do that, or you can do, I guess the other option is to try to stir cold butter into Oreos, right? Yeah, that's why I melted it. It just seemed better. Although if you're using room temperature butter or margarine, you could just mix it together probably. But I like the way I did it, and I think, you know, if I make this again, I'll still melt the butter by nuking it in the microwave. And just stir them up and then place them on a baking sheet pan, and you can throw it in the oven for roughly 10 minutes. You don't necessarily have to spray the pan. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this particular pan is a non-stick. But I don't trust a whole lot of shit in this world. And yeah, I've non-stick or not, I usually either butter the pan or spray it. Because it's better than the alternative of it sticking to your pan. So I just do it anyway, no matter what the pan is. But totally up to you. When it's baked for the 10 minutes and I take it out, I do take a knife to it to loosen it so that it doesn't dry up to where it is sticking to the pan. So that's why I don't think you necessarily have to spray it, because it's only in there for 10 minutes. And yeah, like basically it's just getting cooked a little bit, and then the true crumbs is coming from it sitting out until you need it, which is actually quite a while. Take out your chocolate ice cream. You're gonna want to take it out roughly 20 minutes before, but I live in a house where the air conditioning we might as well just say it's broken, because it's not, but it feels like it is. Let's just say I can take out a thing of ice cream and it'll be melted within 5 minutes. Yeah, to be honest, the freezer doesn't really keep the ice cream melted. Like it's always soft ice cream in that freezer. I really should be putting this ice cream in the other freezer, but there's no room in the other freezer, which is why I stopped buying ice cream for the most part. Yeah, I haven't bought ice cream in a while, and that's a big reason. But anyway, take out your chocolate ice cream and let it soften. Then you put it in a bowl, and you're just gonna mix it to a nice smooth, texture. And then once you've done that, you can grab your pan, 8x3. You can use a 9-inch pan as well if you don't have an 8x3. And just grab some parchment paper. I didn't have any, so I had some wax paper from years ago. And I had exactly 2 pieces, which was perfect for what we're doing. So you want to place a couple of pieces of fairly large parchment paper, or you can use wax paper. I did use wax paper and it worked fine. At the bottom of your pan, the reason you want it to be quite big is because you want it to have a lot of overlap, because you're gonna need a way to lift the cake later on. So make sure that your parchment paper has like little handles, more or less. And then you're just gonna place your chocolate into the pan, and you can smooth it out, have some around the sides, and then you're gonna put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. The fudge isn't going to take you long to make, so I'm a firm believer that when something says, especially when it comes to freezers, when something says like 30 minutes, you give it a little extra, and that's exactly what I did. So I would just come back in 30 minutes and make your fudge. Your fudge is not going to take very long. Now, there's 2 ways you could do this, and I kind of did both ways because, So for starters, for your fudge mix, it's 1 cup of chocolate chips, 3 tablespoons of light corn syrup, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half a cup of whipped cream. So you will put the chocolate chips, the syrup, and the vanilla in a container. And then one of two things you can do. You can put the whipped cream in a pot on the stove, and then you just bring it to a boil, and before it even starts boiling, like as you see it starting to boil, you can turn off the heat at that point and put it over the mixture. I found it wasn't melting things fast enough that way, so I, after doing that, nuked it for a bit. So personally, I would just skip the method of the stovetop. Either that or you actually boil it. And this was my first time, so I was of course going off a recipe, and they said don't even let it get to a boil. The minute you see it start to boil, take it off. and yeah, it wasn't good enough. So yeah, my suggestion is just put it all in this container and fucking nuke it for like a minute and then stir it up. That would be my suggestion. So yeah, that's how you make the fudge. Or, better yet, put it all in a pot and then you can just do it in the pot, right? Okay, so that's the fudge. So you can now take your cake out of the freezer that has your chocolate ice cream in it, and you're gonna pour the fudge over top. And then you can just throw that back in the freezer. This next freezing is not for very long, so it's just 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes later, you can take your cake out of the freezer. And hopefully you've taken out your Oreo crumbs. I did tell you just 10 minutes. You kind of know at that point you take it out of the oven and turn off the oven, right? I would hope so. Okay, so you can actually see some of the chocolate chips. It's melted, but you could see the difference of color, but not a big deal. Okay, so finally this is our, and no, it's not burnt, it's just, Oreo's dark color. So we can just use our hands to crumble it up a little more. And this is where you add your Oreo crumbs. So you can just crumble them over top the fudge layer, arrange them in a nice little fashion. And then that sucker is going back into the freezer for 2 hours. So at this time, you got a couple of hours to kill. I killed these 2 hours by editing videos. It's been a really busy week for that. Okay, so 2 hours has passed. So you will want to take out your vanilla ice cream ahead of time to make sure it's soft enough for you to stir it up and make it a nice creamy liquid. For me, with the heat on the day that I did this, I only needed to prep 5 minutes, basically. If that, it's already soft when I take it out. Yeah, but average time is like 20 minutes. If it's a nice day and your ice cream is pretty frozen in the freezer, I would say 20 minutes. You can add your vanilla ice cream on top of that cookie crumble layer. Look at that sucker. I just took that out of the freezer and it's already soft, Like, it might not look soft because it's not like falling off the spoon, but trust me, it's soft. So we actually have more chocolate in this cake than the vanilla because I used the whole container. Realistically, I think it should be like half a container each. As per the instructions, it was almost a full container, like leave 5 tablespoons in each thing. And I didn't want to do that. Plus, I don't really, as ironic as this is going to sound, considering all the chocolate in here, I'm not a big fan of chocolate, like, I like this though. I like the fudge and all that, but to have a bucket of chocolate ice cream in the fridge, that sucker would have never gone eaten. So that's why I used it all. I'm like, this is the best place for it. The vanilla, on the other hand, I'll use that in smoothies. So with the cake being pretty tall already, I decided to just do half of the vanilla. You will see me add more vanilla ice cream to this cake from this point. I was just kind of throwing a little bit in just to see where it sits as far as, height and all that. But yeah, my personal suggestion would be half a chocolate container and half a vanilla container. I think that will have worked way better. So you just finish putting your vanilla ice cream on top, smooth it out nicely. I actually bought a thing to do this with, and here we are still using a butter knife, but we'll use the fancy new tools that I bought in near the end, I guess. So yeah, once you're done with this, you can pop it back in the freezer for 3 hours. Now, the rest, I believe, has the live commentary. So I'm just going to say a few things before you hear the next live commentary, guys. Up until the time I took out the cake after the 3 hours, which actually was more like 5 because I got busy doing stuff. And personally, it doesn't matter. Like, the biggest thing is that you're giving it time to freeze. So the things you do after that, it really doesn't matter. The point of the time frames is that that's the minimum time it should be in the freezer. At this point, we lift the cake and all that, which you'll see in a minute here. But we start struggling at this point. The freezer that I had originally been putting the cake in was not cold enough to freeze the cake properly. Like, this cake should have been so frozen after 6 hours. And it was not. I ended up later transferring it to the fridge freezer, which I originally didn't use because it's always full of the roommate's food, because he buys a lot of food. Like, he has the full fridge freezer and like 95% of the deep freeze. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of freezer room when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, I ended up moving his vodka bottle and his bread, which I'm sure I'll hear about later. But yeah, I moved it so that we could put this on a proper shelf, right? And I'm just gonna say, not even 2 hours later, this sucker was frozen. So that freezer is way fucking better than the deep freeze. Yeah, way better. Yeah, the thing is, the deep freeze does work well. I've got frozen meat in there and stuff, but when it comes to ice cream, it's just not very good. It never has been. I have never had like real frozen ice cream. I think the only time I did was when it was technically frozen yogurt. But ice cream, yeah, it's like some of it's, melted right in the container when you open it while it's still sitting in the freezer. So yeah. Anyway, enough ramble. Let's move on. Everything went good up until this point. I started getting frustrated. It was late at night. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. So yeah, be prepared for a little frustration in my voice. Okay, so we're gonna make our icing. Icing sugar, whipping cream, and vanilla extract. Also, I brought my cake stuff. It's new, so that's why it's still in the plastic, so we'll have to rinse that. And I made this cardboard. I grabbed one of my Amazon boxes and I cut it. I'm gonna put the cake on it and put it there, and then we'll put it back in the freezer on the cardboard, or maybe, I'm thinking maybe I put the cardboard on there and then we put that in the freezer like that. We'll see. We'll see. We're doing this late at night. I thought it would be better if I did it around midnight because it'll start getting a little cooler. It's been like mid-80s lately, so making an ice cream cake in mid-80s is kind of not great. I also have some red coloring. My plan is we're gonna do the icing and I'm gonna set aside a bit of the icing and we're gonna put the red coloring in, and then I'm gonna write Happy Canada Day on the cake. So yeah, I think there's gonna be some sections where we're gonna have to drag it back to the freezer though, but we'll see. Typically you would, mix this with a mixer, but ours is so fucking ancient. It's next on the list. Okay, so 2 cups of whipping cream. Okay, vanilla, and this is 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, it's gonna be a little tough to get it the thickness by hand. I'm just gonna, so we get the powder. Okay. Probably still a little runny, but yeah, it's definitely still runny. I'm not sure how we could thicken it up without machines. Okay, we're back. All the solutions are things I don't have. They suggest cornstarch, they suggest more, well, I guess more icing sugar I could try adding. I'm just gonna see, Okay, there's our cake. We gotta work fast because it is hot. This is just brown from here. This is just chocolate. Okay, I have this. I'm just gonna put some hot water onto it. Oh, I think we're supposed to do it from here. Okay, my bad. I don't think that's gonna be too noticeable though. Okay, I think you guys can see what I'm doing, right? Yeah. I feel comfortable lifting it. Okay, so let's just... Oh, we are... Oh, I need the Okay, we have that. Okay. So now we peel. The ice cream feels like it's still, yeah, it's melting as we peel. So I gotta throw this back in like immediately. Oh, it does look good though. Man, there is plastic that somehow got in the middle. Okay, so that and that, yeah. Oh, it's right here. It's this. Yeah, there's plastic on the top. Okay. Ugh, this is gonna mess up this part. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, I need this. We need to get this in the freezer though. It is melting. And kind of put my hands under it, but oh my goodness. Okay. I guess no one will really see the bottom, right? Is it possible that, damn, I almost need another person here. Oh, okay. I'm sure you guys can see it melting, right? Like, it is, and we just took it out, and it was in the freezer for 5 hours. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think my freezer is good enough to make these. Okay, but all we need right now is, okay, you know what? I don't want it to melt anymore. We're putting it back in. Okay, it's back in the freezer. Okay, that, oh god, that made such a mess. Oh, okay. Whew. Well, yeah, it should have been way frozen. Like, it should have been so frozen I could just tilt it, but yeah. So this is the part that's really like the struggle part. Okay, so because between the whipped cream not being thick enough and then that giving us issues, I don't know, but that's back in the freezer. It still has a tiny bit of plastic underneath it, so I need to get the plastic out of it. But and there's the cat, which I should not let her near that. Ice cream is not good for cats. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I wanted to, you know, get a decent chill on it. So I'm just gonna come back in an hour. So we'll see you then. Okay guys, we're back. I just rinsed out this and my cake is like literally melting in the freezer. Like, I'll show you. And you can see the bread, you can see it went on it. So hopefully that's the only place it's gone. But we need to put it in the pan. Yeah. You know, we can at least make the best out of a bad situation, right? And that would be, oh, God, we're losing a lot of chocolate. Okay, I just need this area so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so it's on my little cake tray, and so I had to drop it in, so the cardboard's in there too. But I just want to do a little maintenance on the vanilla. The good part is that since it's melted, I can kind of reform it a bit. Okay, so let's. It's not gonna be. Okay. Well, it is my first ice cream cake. It is not. I'm sure it'll look great once we cut into it, which we won't be doing till tomorrow. I want this sucker as frozen as can be. It's in another container. It won't leak in the freezer, but we do need to get it back in there. I am glad I bought this pan though, because now I know that that's the only pan that can properly fit in that freezer. I can't make a cake that is bigger than an 8x3. Not one that goes into the freezer. One for the fridge, you know, that's fine. But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling and you guys have no visuals here, so yeah, that's it for now. I'll be back in a couple of hours and we'll see how our whipping cream is and our cake. Okay, so I moved it. I put it in there. At least when I open this one, I can actually feel a chill. I think this freezer is colder. Yeah, like there's literally an ice pack. You know, while we're here, let's just see how the whipping cream is doing. It's doing a little better every time, but it's still not. It's not frosting, you know, like, yeah. But it's got 2 hours to do its thing. Okay, so this short video is becoming long because of frustrated moments. But yeah, hope you're enjoying so far. And we'll see you in another couple of hours. I'm gonna go edit a video, and then when I'm done, I will do that. If nothing is good in a couple of hours, I guess we could hold off till the morning, but I want this video edited tomorrow because it's currently now Friday morning. It's 1 in the morning right now. So in 2 hours, we're gonna grab the cake, grab the frosting, and if it's not good to go, and like, I gotta go to bed at that time, you know? Okay, we are back, and it's like almost 4 hours later. Editing took a long time. It's definitely past my bedtime. It's definitely thicker. I'm gonna keep it in the fridge. And let's take a look at the cake. Okay, my fingerprints still go on, so it is a little soft. I still want to get that plastic out. I really need to get myself a cake holder, because I would have just put it into a cake holder, you know, rather than another pan. It looks great. Well, except for that part. But considering the destruction it went through earlier, I say it looks great. We just need some icing on it. A little bit. I think I'm just gonna have to be careful with the I can lift it off of here and I can feel if my hand wasn't full of chocolate, okay. Let's just, I know we'll make a bit of a mess, but I think I can do this. Okay, just do it quickly. Oh, okay. It melted a little bit, but I got all the plastic off the bottom. Now, okay, we can flip that because that was literally just in case I needed to emergency place it somewhere. Nice clean pan. I feel like I'm doing more cleaning with this recipe. Okay, I just want to make it seem like nothing happened. Okay, so now I really want to see if we can do this icing. I'm just gonna put like, it's not really like fluffy, but I just want to see, like, can we just work with it? I don't know. It's pretty liquidy, but my plan is we work with it and then freeze it. So I don't suggest this next part, but because it is liquidy still, but I want some icing. I don't want to waste it, and I don't think this is getting much, I don't want to wait any longer. I've already been working on this cake for 12 hours basically at this point, so we're just gonna, but you can see that it is definitely liquidy, but I think it'll still be fine. Anyone that had a nice, smooth, ice cream cake the first time, I salute you. Granted, I think our issue didn't come in till the end, honestly. We're making such a mess because it's so liquidy, like, yeah. Not the way to do this, guys, just saying. But yay for a turntable. Look at the mess we're making. I don't even need that knife. It's not thick enough. Okay. Oh, fuck. Hilarious. This is what happens when it's late at night and you just want to be done with it. Like, yeah. Okay. I do have it on the container, right? Yeah, I think I feel the container there. Okay. Whew. Messy. Drop down. Icing is on there, not great. Let's cover some of the chocolate editing. I just want to hide these chocolate pieces. Okay. Okay, now we need... But yeah, the frosting should not look like this. I don't know if that means you absolutely need a mixer to have good frosting, or to have frosting at all for that matter. Okay, it's saved. Wow, Wow, this is the newish video on the channel yet. I don't know if we're gonna get, I don't know if we're gonna be able to decorate this. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up, go to bed, and we'll see you in the morning. In the morning, that's our final product because I gotta get this video edited for Saturday. So yeah, whatever happens in the morning is the end. Hey guys. Okay, I just woke up, checked the icing. It's still liquid. So yeah, so I just dumped it. But the cake looks good. It looks a little different because we dumped some of that on it, right? But it looks great, you know? And yeah, I just want to decorate it. That's like, you know, aside from that, it is done. I just want to decorate the damn thing. So we're giving this one more try. I did read last night that if your house is hot, making any sort of, you know, whipped cream or icing or anything is pretty much useless. So that could be our issue because in the summer, this house is always hot because the air conditioning doesn't work very well. It's unfortunate because the whole thing was going real well until the final stage. So I'm just going to say it's still hot. It's hot in the house right now, so I don't know if this is going to work. But we'll find out. Oh yeah, you can see it. Like this one at least tastes like whipped cream now. I don't know what the verdict is going to be yet on this sucker. But I am going to say it at least isn't super liquidy and it tastes like whipped cream. 100% you can't mix this by hand. Yeah, which is weird because a time did exist when machines weren't really around to, you know, help you, right? So somehow they did mix it by hand. Okay, so since yeah, that's can that stand? Yeah. Yeah, that pretty much, like, look, that pretty much stays on my finger. So yeah. I think we finally did it, guys. Okay, so that is a tiny bit. If we need more, I do have, I would say there's probably half a cup in here. But yeah, unfortunate. I should have just whipped it with this hand mixer last night. I am so used to doing everything by hand that I just think I can do everything by hand. But I guess, and most things you can. But I'm guessing whipped cream is not that thing. But we got it. Okay, I am so happy that worked out for us. Yeah. So, while I am keeping in the mistakes, I am just gonna say, don't do what I did last night, pour it over. It looks nice, but yeah, just mix it with a hand mixer. Honestly, aside from that, it's pretty easy to make whipped cream. The only problem is because of the price of whipping cream over here in Canada, it's actually cheaper to buy Cool Whip. So I'm just gonna say I did it for today's video, but any other time I'm probably just gonna buy the Cool Whip. Yeah, because it's cheaper. Honestly, this ice cream cake is, I looked at prices at Dairy Queen last night to see what costs more, me making it or me buying it from them. And it costs more when I make it. Yeah. Which makes sense, I guess. It's not a whole lot more, but it's like, I don't know, $5, $10 more. Yeah. We gotta move fast here. It doesn't, it looks good to me, but maybe it's because I'm used to things melting in this kitchen. It still looks like, I guess we'll find out when we use our tip thing. It's definitely thick, like, yeah. But it's melting, like, as I'm placing it. Yeah, it's still too thin. And I don't have enough in here. Like, it's doing an okay thing, but it's still not thick enough, I guess. I'm kind of done with this thing now. It tastes like Cool Whip. Yeah, it's the right texture. I don't know. I think it's just too hot to decorate. Instead, just pretend it says Happy Canada Day on it. And I did get some sprinkles. Honestly, making the cake itself, it seemed pretty easy. Like, the steps seemed fine. Okay. Pretty red. Okay. And that's what will make it that's what makes it a Canada Day cake. Let's see if we can just get a bit at the sides. It's missing a bit. Okay. Okay. Happy fucking Canada Day. Okay, back in the freezer. Okay, that's all I'm doing, guys. That is all I have patience for. That literally was us being, like, improvising, basically. But I'm still, well, it's a complete disaster, including the kitchen right now. I'm gonna have to, actually, I'm gonna clean the house today anyway, so it's kind of a perfect day to mess up the kitchen. But at least, like, I'm very proud of myself with the whipped cream, because it is fucking hot. I'm sweating right now. So I'm amazed this whipped cream was able to kind of, it's getting to be liquid now, but yeah. But we weren't able to decorate it the way I wanted to. I really did want to, like, make little flowers around the edge. Also, I wanted to actually spell Happy Canada Day, but it's like I could just go buy some Cool Whip, but at this point, I'm just kind of done with it. We will we'll do better next time. The only thing that matters now is that it tastes good, and we'll find out. Okay, guys, so it is time to cut the cake. It actually was fairly easy to cut. So compared to like a Dairy Queen cake, I would say, with a Dairy Queen cake, you gotta take it out of the freezer and let it sit for a few minutes and then run your knife under hot water and cut it. This one, we didn't have to wait at all. Honestly, if I would have waited, it would have just melted. I was able to cut it immediately. I did run the knife under hot water, though. And, so that part went pretty good. I just chose to cut all the pieces. Just, I'm like that. I typically don't cut just one piece. I'll just do all the heavy work at the beginning, and then I can just dish out each piece along the way. And so that went well. And then I was really surprised in the final product of it, aka the eating of it, the taste, it tastes amazing. You know, like, aside from the fact that I literally kept the screw ups in this video, which did make the video a little long. I'm actually, no matter what, I'm posting it this way, but I am actually contemplating doing a separate video using most of the footage in this one to make a shorter kind of how-to, because it actually turned out really well, and I now don't feel like we fucked anything up, you know? Like, it tasted really good. Last night I was a little worried, because the roommate had mentioned that there would be a possibility that the whipped cream could have, like, frozen solid, so I was worried whether I'd be able to cut it at all. And yeah, turned out we were fine. The whipped cream is like, you know, perfect, honestly. Yeah, it's not frozen. It's just a chilled whipped cream on top. Would I suggest pouring it over the way I did? No. You know, get your whipped cream to a decent, you know, thing. But, you know, in my personal opinion, it doesn't seem to have mattered. I think the only difference is that because I couldn't get it to that texture, which I guess technically I did almost get it to that texture, but then it started melting, and yeah, because I couldn't really decorate the cake. So I think that's where you would need it, that texture, right? Like, of course, no one wants to just have liquid on their cake, but you know what I mean. Like, if you stumble across the same thing I did, just do what I did. It worked. It worked, and it tastes delicious. Don't skip it. Yeah. So earlier in the video, I did say it like 2 or 3 times that I don't suggest doing that, because I totally thought it would just screw the whole thing up. But it was actually really good. Will I do it that way again? No, I'm just gonna buy a Cool Whip the next time, you know. But it did work in our benefit this time. And yeah, so I think this was an actual success. Did we make some mistakes? Yes, we did. You know, one, we gotta lay out that plastic a little better, you know. Yeah, I literally had plastic in the middle of some of those layers, so yeah. 2, we gotta make sure to use the good freezer. You know, the freezer actually solves majority of the rest of the issues. Flipping the cake will be easier, all that. But 3 would, of course, be the whipped cream. So those are the 3 things that I feel like I could improve on. And yeah, a year from this month, we will attempt another one. But for now, I think we did good, and I think this is satisfaction enough to post on the video. I'm very curious to see if anyone will watch a 1-hour cooking video that is not a stream, but we'll see. We'll see. But I felt like we couldn't post this video without posting the screw-ups. Yay! It's delicious. And it'll be in the freezer for a while. It's literally just me and the roommate here. And, yeah. And, you know, I don't got the best dental, so I don't exactly eat slices of cake every day. But yeah, it was a success. So I hope you enjoyed. Good luck on your ice cream cake. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.